up, movie crew? So it's that time again. I am going to mention everything I watched during the month of May. Now, before I get into anything, if you are new to this channel, my name is Luke. This channel is Let's Watch a Movie, and if you are to anything cinema and physical media related, you've come to the right place, so hit that subscribe button. Also, at the end of this video, I'm going to tell you how you can possibly win a digital copy of the Batman. Alright, now before I get into everything, these last few months I have been posting 2 videos on what I've watched. This month I also took part in Mid-Level Media's A Month of Hitchcock. That video is already up, so if you want to see what Alfred Hitchcock movies I watched during the month of May, pinned comment down below. There will be a couple of other links that I will be mentioning throughout the video as well. Alright, on the theatrical front, this was actually a slower month for me. I only saw 2 movies in theaters, and one of them I had to go back a second time. I did see Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. If you want my thoughts on that, pinned comment down below. We'll have the link for that review. I also saw the latest outing from A24, Men. I will not only have the review, but I had to leave the theater my first time watching it and watch it a second time. That live stream will also be in the pinned comments down below. Warning for that, depending on how old you are, I would not recommend watching that live stream. And this month, for those that don't know, I am also an independent author, and I do go out of town once or twice a month for conventions, festivals, all that good stuff to sell my books. So I did not bring my Blu-ray player with me, my 4K player, my Roku. I don't bring any of that stuff with me when I go out of town for a night or 2. So for my movie watching, I just had to rely on what was on. So I managed to see The Transporter and 13 Going on 30. Yes, I am very well aware that those 2 movies are not the best of combinations or double features. But Transporter is your typical Jason Statham movie. And 13 Going on 30, not something I would normally watch, but I've got to be honest, not a bad movie. And yes, that was probably my first time watching that movie. But that is everything that I either watched in theaters or something I watched where I don't have the physical release on me. Without further ado, time to show you the stuff from my collection that I watched during the month of May. First things first, I watched Natural Born Killers from my Oliver Stone collection. Now I want to point out, I know that Quentin Tarantino has said that it's not really his movie like it used to be, but watching it, it still feels like a Tarantino movie. At least from someone who does own and has watched every Tarantino movie, it still feels like it. I kind of would like to see what would have happened had we gotten like an actual Tarantino movie with this. But I was pretty happy with what I got. As far as Any Given Sunday and Alexander, I do not know when I'm going to watch those because both of those are very long movies and I have limited time. Next, I showed this off in my final FYE haul. I managed to get a DVD copy of the Royal Tenenbaums on Criterion for a very cheap price. Someone I know has been watching some Wes Anderson movies lately and told me I need to watch this. I've got to say, I was thoroughly impressed. I'm glad I picked this up. And come July, I believe, when they finally do the next Criterion sale, I will be upgrading my DVD to Blu-ray. Dangerous Minds. I don't know why this movie was hated on when it first came out. I remember loving it when I first saw it. And I first saw it I was fairly young. And even now, this movie holds up. It's a great movie. And the fact that it has gotten some of the hate it's gotten is kind of annoying. Great cast. Great soundtrack. Highly recommend you watch this if you have not. I believe I got this for $3.74 at Walmart a while back. Now keep in mind that was a while back, so there's no guarantee that Walmart will still have it on their shelves. I do want to show both of these off at the same time. Like I said earlier, I did see the movie Men, which is directed by Alex Garland, who made Ex Machina and Annihilation. I rewatched Ex Machina, one, because it is also an A24 film directed by Alex Garland, but also when I first started realizing more stuff about A24, I kept mentioning this is my favorite movie, where most people will say Hereditary or The Witch. I'll have a pinned comment down below. One of the other links will be my top 5 A24 films. And after rewatching this before seeing Men, this is still my favorite A24 film. I was entertained. Oscar Isaac does his thing in this movie. It has a lot of twists and turns in the movie. This is just overall a great film. And if I may be so bold, it is Alex Garland's best film, because this sucked. There's no two ways around it. I wanted to see this because it's made by the same guy who made my favorite A24 film. Natalie Portman is usually really good on the movies she chooses to be a part of. What the hell happened here? I do not recommend this movie. I paid $4.95 and I feel like I paid too much. Out of everything that I watched during the month of May, this is the worst movie I watched during the month. Rant over. Heavy Metal. The Steelbook does contain Heavy Metal 2000, but I have not watched Heavy Metal 2000 yet, so we're only talking the first movie. It is definitely a weird, trippy movie, just as I remember it being when I first saw it when I was a teenager. I've got to say, teenager me probably loves it more than me now, but it is still a good movie. It is still worth watching. It is crazy, it is trippy, it is weird. But as far as all the basic essentials it needs to be a film, it's got those and does great with them. So, if you see the Heavy Metal soundtrack or the Heavy Metal Steelbook, I'd say pick it up if you can find it for a decent price. Superman Brainiac Attacks. Alright, so when I went out of town, I left sometime Friday afternoon. So Friday morning, I watched this because of the movies I had on my shelf. This one had one of the shortest run times at 1 hour and 15 minutes. I am a huge DCAU fan. That's the animated stuff like Batman the Animated Series, Superman the Animated Series, Justice League Unlimited, Batman Beyond, Static Shock. This does not feature the returning cast members. The plot is boring, and when you don't have the same people, but it's supposed to be connected to what you've watched before, this is the second worst thing I watched during the month of May. However, if you're a completionist like myself, gotta get it, right? Batman the Brave and the Bold Seasons 1 and 2. There is a third season. I'm currently watching it. That will be on June's watch list video. long story short, I'm going to probably do a Batman collection video. I did not realize how much of my stuff I did not have in my room. But when I picked these two up, I was like, you know what? I haven't watched these in a while. While this show is definitely a lot more lighthearted compared to what people my age are used to with Batman, a lot of people are probably expecting, Batman the Animated Series or The Dark Knight or even the new Batman movie with Robert Pattinson. This is still a good movie, or good TV series. Great team-ups, unexpected team-ups, and it still keeps the overall core of who Batman is. And if you're a fan of the Adam West stuff, I definitely recommend watching this. I do believe the entire first season is available on DVD for those that don't have a Blu-ray player. Season 2, I believe, is in 2 volumes. Season 3, like I said, I do have. I'm watching that currently. The Blu-rays are available through Warner Archive. The DVDs are available through various retail outlets. Doctor Strange, the animated movie. So I watched this as well as the first theatrical movie, getting myself ready for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. This is one time where I can wave the DC banner. Marvel's animation lacks a lot of stuff and definitely leaves a lot to be desired. And it's not bad, but it's not great. I don't know what else to say beyond that. And the first live-action movie with Benedict Cumberbatch. I said this in my review for Multiverse of Madness. This is a bottom 5 MCU movie for me. And when I rewatched it to get myself ready for Multiverse of Madness, my views towards this movie are still the same. The humor feels forced. It did not keep my attention. There's definitely things they could have cut out of this movie and it would have still told the same story. And Marvel wasted the acting abilities of Mads Mikkelsen. Not to mention WTF with Dormammu. That's all I'm going to say on that part. I do think Benedict Cumberbatch is a great Doctor Strange. Don't get me wrong. I'm glad to see him in this role. He looks like he was taken straight out of the pages of the comics. But I cannot say that I'm a huge fan of this movie. Justice League Doom. Alright. For anyone wondering, this is the French Steelbook. And that's also why you see a couple of scratches at the top of it, because this thing had to come over here from France, and I had to communicate with someone who did not speak English. But, again, there's a lot of stuff going on. I mean, if anyone wants a video of me talking about like my life outside of let's watch a movie, I can do it. But one of the things I look at when I'm watching a movie is how long or how short is the movie. And this is definitely something I was able to watch that was fairly short in runtime. I don't see the runtime on here, I believe. I know it's less than an hour and 20 minutes. Let me just keep it at that. This is a great Justice League movie. It definitely, for me being a huge Batman fan, it shows the type of individual Batman is, not just towards his enemies, but towards his friends as well. So to anyone that wants a good, introduction to the Justice League, this is a good movie to, check out. It's got a good chunk of the cast from Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. It tells a good story of them facing random villains, various villains from each lore of some of the characters, and tells a cohesive story without getting too convoluted on stuff. So definitely recommend checking this one out for anyone that wants a good Justice League movie. Raising Arizona. And this is probably something I'm going to be rewatching again this month, which will be explained later. I bought this when The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent came out. Barnes & Noble had it on sale for a very cheap price, so I picked it up. This movie is great. The ending got me. I don't want to give away the ending, but this is a fun movie. Coen brothers doing their thing with this one, with their typical dark humor stuff. Great people in the cast with Nicolas Cage, Holly Hunter, John Goodman. Just an overall great, enjoyable movie. Definitely check this one out if you get a chance. Journey to the Center of Earth and Journey to the Mysterious Island. I want to point out first, this movie was made in 2008 and the special effects look like something from the 90s. I've got to say, Brendan Fraser does his thing. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but a movie led by Brendan Fraser was better than the one that was led by The Rock. Yes, I said it, and to anyone that's a fan of The Rock, you are welcome to attack me in the comments. I'm expecting it. But it's bad when I feel like I am ranking the worst movies out of the stuff I've watched, because I've already said what the two worst movies are I've watched during the month of May. Here's numbers 3 and 4. I've heard that The Rock still wants to do the third one, which would be From the Earth to the Moon. I don't want that. No. Reboot this series. Start from scratch. Use better special effects, especially for something that fits the time frame you're in. The cast did their thing with what they had, but the movies themselves just were not great. Troy documentary from Nat Geo. So I picked this one up at Dollar Tree. It's in one of my haul videos. Again, with some of the stuff I've got going on, I try to watch some stuff that's got shorter run times, and this is an hour and 5 minutes. Not a bad documentary, but being a little bit of a history buff, this thing leaves out a lot. I'm not saying it's bad, but between the stuff that I've read on my own, the stuff that I learned in school, and some of the stuff that the actual movie Troy takes from for the historical accuracies and stuff, this kind of just touches on a couple of things here and there. It was good to be able to get something in for the month, but definitely could have had a lot more in it. You know you've watched some stinkers when R.I.P.D. is not even in the worst of the movies you have watched for the month. So, I watched this in theaters when it first came out, and I was like, this is bad. Then I saw it for $3 at Big Lots. I was like, maybe I need to rewatch it. Maybe it won't that bad. The best actor in the movie is not on the front of this case. I have to say the person that I think did the best in this movie was Kevin Bacon. These two were alright. Their on-screen chemistry was great. I would definitely like to see these two in another movie doing their thing. Because I think with the right material, those two could put together a great movie. This was not that great movie. Wonder. Alright, so I bought this from Target's Black Friday sale. It is one of the many really cool Lionsgate steel books where you got a different slip on there from the steel book. And I remember when I first saw the trailers for this, I was like, I don't think this is something I'm going to watch. It just looks like your typical family movie. This is a really good, feel-good movie. I don't know any other ways to say it. This is just a really good movie. And seeing the journey of the main character and him being accepted by his peers was just a really good, touching movie. I've got to say, though, as much as I liked everyone, Owen Wilson just playing a dad was gold. Just various little things he did here and there where he was just trying to be the cool parent and then doing some subtle things here and there. I think he was probably the best in this movie, and everyone in this movie delivered. Constantine, House of Mystery. As I've mentioned before, huge DC Comics fan. This is the latest in the Showcase series. These are various shorts that DC put with some of their movies. I don't like the new art direction they're going. And it felt like an incomplete story. The Constantine short itself was about 30 minutes. I wish they would have made it just a smidge longer because it feels like it just stops. I get that's kind of how it is in some of the Constantine and Hellblazer comics. Like, normally it's not a happy ending, it's just things just kind of happen. But something about this particular short fell short, no pun intended. Firestarter. I bought this a while back. This movie is boring. Although it did remind me why it was kind of obvious that the Duffer Brothers did use Stephen King material for Stranger Things. There's something very big in this movie that you know the Duffer Brothers took from Stephen King. Not only did I find this movie boring, but this was the reason I did not go out and watch the new movie, which I have heard sucks. Dead by Midnight Y2 Kill. This was, I believe, $8.96 at Walmart. If this ends up at Dollar Tree, do not buy it. I am warning you now. Do not buy this movie. It is trash. Mission to the Moon. Another animated feature that I picked up at Dollar Tree. Not a bad movie. It's more for the younger audiences, so anyone that's like me that's a little bit older but still has appreciation for animation, probably not a movie you're going to be a fan of. The Exorcism of God. I like horror movies. The Exorcist is definitely up there with my favorite horror films. And when you can add a religious aspect to some of these, it usually makes for a pretty compelling story. This is not one of those compelling stories. And I am going to wrap it off on a slightly serious note. I don't normally talk about this because I don't feel like it's relative to what I do here, but I had some bouts with anxiety, and my anxiety definitely took a toll on me a few weeks ago. And just basic things to kind of get me in a calmer mood, a better mood, to feel less stressed, all that good stuff. Two of my go-to movies when I am dealing with anxiety are My Neighbor Totoro and Kiki's Delivery Service, both from Studio Ghibli. Both of these are really great, well-done, feel-good movies. I highly recommend them if you're anime people. I recommend them for younger audiences, and to anyone like myself that deals with anxiety from time to time. these two movies are definitely stuff that can kind of help with that. But overall, the month of May was not the best month for me when it goes to movies I watch, as you can tell. But before we get into the outro, as promised, I am doing a giveaway because I recently hit 800 subscribers on this channel. Thank you for that, by the way. I am giving away 2 digital codes for the Batman. To enter this giveaway, you can either go to my new release video for this week. I will have that video down below as a pinned comment. You can either go to that one. Actually, you can go to both of them. You can go to that one, and you can go to this one. In the comments down below, if you want to enter the giveaway, either name your favorite Batman villain, or put in the comments, I'm Batman. And if you don't want to enter, comment down below what you watched during the month of May. But that's going to do it for this one. Thank you all for watching and tune in next time.